in
Sorry.
regards to a mental health failing partners.
Hello,
I think there
everyone,
might be additional information that needs to be
and
added going.
welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Carla Coleman, your host and Director of Communications for New Salem Baptist Church in Columbus, Ohio. And our co host, Paige Reynolds, will be returning next week. Thank you all for joining us, and please jump into the chat, say hello, and share this link with your family and friends. With us tonight is Columbus's and New Salem's own Jordan Holland. Jordan is a world-renowned classically trained vocalist and performance coach, and he's from Westerville, Ohio. As you may have read in his bio, he is known for his rich tone and soulful croon. This acquired him leading roles in several productions around the world and guest artist spots throughout Nashville music scene. So tonight we are going to discuss a topic that we haven't really tackled much here on Wellness Wednesday, and at least not in a long time, and that's weight loss. Too many of us struggle with healthy weight management, and Jordan is here to share his story of perseverance and victory. Thank you. So, hello, we have with us here Jordan Holland. How you doing
Hey
tonight, Jordan?
there. I'm doing well. I am doing well, especially after watching
Excellent.
that video. It's been so long since I.
Since you've seen
So
it,
much has changed, but wow, yeah, it's crazy to watch it again and just think back to that experience. But yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. And how many years ago was that?
It was 15 years ago. 15 years ago. Actually, 15 years
Wow.
ago that they asked me on my birthday to be a part of the Made. It was my 18th birthday to be a part of the Made show. I got a call on my
hmm
18th birthday, so it's been 15 years.
And that's MTV. It was on MTV.
It was on MTV. Yes, yes, yes.
Wow. Wow. And so tell us, just talk a little bit about yourself and where in your journey since that time.
Yeah, so much has happened. So much has transpired with my life since then. I look at May kind of as the thing that catapulted me into more of my purpose in going after it, or really kind of showing me what I was capable of. When I think about that time in my life, I was 18 years old. I knew I wanted to do something in music. I knew that I had a love and a deep passion for being for the arts, but I didn't know what to do, where to go. I didn't know any of that. It wasn't until later on in life I assessed that at a time of my life and realized that I didn't have the necessary resources or tools or access to those things to actually get the fundamental knowledge in order to know what to do in terms of next steps. But what I knew is the energy that I was putting out was that I was passionate about music and passionate about the arts. And so I look at Made as the thing that catapulted me into going into my purpose. May change my life. And I say that only because at that time, I wasn't physically active. I was kind of just existing and doing things that I love, but really with no actual like direction or course. I knew about the things that I thought were purposeful, but I didn't have a direction in that or what that looked like. And so when May came along, I thought it would just be a great way to end my senior year. I didn't think that going on that show it would literally pivot my mindset, break old habits and mindsets, and actually put me in a position to where I could believe in myself enough that I could go do anything that I wanted to do. Um, so we're talking from the aspect of perseverance, which really what was required on the soccer process alone. It was 8 weeks. It was a full 2 months. I was working out twice a day. Completely changed my weight. That completely changed my eating regimen to 1,500 calories a day. So getting up in the morning and working out, and then having to come back when I'm done with school after homework and do another workout, and then getting up and doing the same thing. It takes a toll on you, but if we're focused on just that part of the process, then we kind of lose what it actually means. And for me, what I realized was this was meant to provide me with purpose. It was meant to provide me with an experience that's supposed to teach and to grow somebody. I
Mhm.
can always remember that I knew that I always wanted to do things purposefully in my life. It's always been that I've always wanted to do things that had meaning because I always saw that there was greater benefit and there was a greater experience when my actions are purposeful and intentional, instead of just doing things just to do them. So I knew I wanted to do something purposeful. And when I realized that I was going to be on this show, the producers will tell you from day one. I told them, I said, I want my show to be different. I want my show to inspire and change people's lives. No, I didn't know the backroom workings of what it takes to do production then, but it's a storyboard and they put everything together. And there were some moments when I was recording and filming this process where we kind of butted heads because it wasn't authentic and it wasn't true to who I was. It wasn't
Mm,
representing my actual story and my journey of perseverance in this. And I said, if I'm going to do this, I want to influence and I want to change people's lives. I want to show them what purpose looks like. Because if you look at the theme of Made back then, it was the kid wants to do it. They get their Made coach. They complain about the whole entire process. They kind of put themselves behind, and they finally get on board, and then they do it. But it's not a really enjoyable process. For them, I wanted to
mm,
show them that from start to finish, we're not giving up. From start to
right.
finish, we're digging in this thing and we're doing everything necessary to get to that end goal, which was prom king. But prom king
Mm,
is a state of mind because I have to
true.
already realize, and I didn't know then, but I know now, I was already a king then. I was
That's right.
already a king. If you look into that, if you watch that video and that clip, I'm operating in my righteous kingly authority and how I'm interacting with those people. So I was already one prom king. I just couldn't really see it myself. I had to go through the process to really elevate myself to the place of I'm a king. I
Mhm,
already won it. I had all the people. I just didn't know I had the people. So it was going through the process of losing weight, understanding
mm,
that this is about my body. I have to physically be fit for this. I got to physically show up and be present. That requires me to actually be healthy and requires me to take stock in what I'm putting into
true.
my body, how I'm feeding myself. Because if I'm a kingly person, that means I'm operating in a place of leadership. I'm operating in a
Mm,
place of authority and righteousness, and we're unhealthy doing that, putting anything in our body. I also had to reconcile within my mind that there are some thoughts that you are thinking about yourself that do not align with who you are as a king. We've got to break those down.
mm,
And what you realize is, in terms of working on body, mind, soul, and spirit, it's not a race that's quick. And so that process is perseverance. When I think about perseverance, I kind of title it as the tenacity to withstand the various experiences that come along with the journey. So we need
mm,
steadfastness, determination, intention, and focus. But perseverance doesn't mean anything if it doesn't have a reason. There's no reason why anybody would put energy or focus into doing something if there's not a
mhm,
reason. So there has to be a purpose. Because from that purpose, when you realize that it breeds a passion and a desire to go after that. What I found when I did the May process was, wait a minute, I know I'm supposed to impact and influence and change lives. And if this is just a start, I've got to show them what it looks like rough getting to the polished version. So I'm going to be my most authentic. I didn't want anybody to see me cry, but I said I'm going to cry. You know why? Because this is a real place.
yeah.
I'm tired. I'm hurting. Like, I want y'all to see the
Mm,
authenticity of that. But what I also want you to see is that I never said I quit on that show. What I also want you to say is, what I also want you to, I did everything possible, stepped outside of my comfort zone. I actually had the moment where I broke down and was able to identify with myself that, hey, you are insecure. You don't think highly of yourself. We've got to do away with that. We've got to focus on the
mhm,
things that actually matter that build you. All those things, that's a perseverance process because there are habits as we go
mhm,
through life that we get into the routine of. Breaking a habit is not easy. That is a conscious, a mental thing that we do on a daily basis.
mhm,
That requires perseverance because if we think about this entire process and we think about purpose, you always want to be impactful with what you're doing. And for me, once my purpose was understood on that show, I said it was go time. We are going so hard. I lost about 40 pounds on that show. I got a custom made suit. I came to Nashville. They brought me to Nashville on my spring break. I got to have a songwriting session. I got to go to live bars and experience what that was like. I got to foreshadow what it looked like being on Fisk University's campus before I didn't go there. Crazy. All the things that align with my purpose. All the things that if I
mm,
hadn't stepped out of my side of my box and said, I'm auditioning for this show.
right.
Oh, I got on the
Uh-oh.
you got to get up and stop being lazy. You got to actually know what it's like to be this. Like, go for it. All the things I said when I wanted to quit at home in my bed when it's 12 o'clock at night, and I know I got to get up at 4:45 in the morning for a 5 a.m. workout. I don't want to do this anymore. But then it was like, no, 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 no. You do want to do this because you're
Mm,
changing yourself, and people are seeing the change, and they're being inspired by your change. So keep pressing on. And then you realize my purpose is again to impact and influence. I can't stop now. I know that I have everything that I need to be successful. I just got to keep on digging and keep on going. So it's really about the journey, honestly. And it's about owning and learning yourself through that process. And so when I think about the word perseverance, I think of it from the perspective of pace, persevering, accountably, continuously evolving. For me, in my perseverance and in my journey through my purpose, I don't want to repeat old habits and bad things. I want new experiences. I want new challenges. I want to learn new levels because what I understand is if I'm going through the same process over and over again, I'm not learning something. I haven't got over that hurdle. So for me, the perseverance is we're going to tackle this head on. And however long it takes, whatever the process, whatever the stripping is, whatever the shedding away is, we're going to go through that process and we're not going to give up because on the other side of it is another level of success. Is another level of actually being able to fulfill more of your purpose. Because what we ultimately want to do is be able to authentically operate in our purpose and be able to do that
Right.
without having any limitation. And when we do that, we when we think about the actual power of what that is, it's really aligned. It's really aligning your mind, body, your soul. It's purging things that don't serve you. It's restoring yourself. It's healing yourself. It's putting yourself in a position to say, well, hey, when life comes at me, I already know I can do this. I just gotta press through. What perseverance shows you through pace is what you're actually able to withstand. It actually shows you, hey, taking stock in what you've learned in your process and how you can apply that to the next process that you're going to go through, which is going to require perseverance. So when we look at my life and we think about perseverance and wellness and the weight loss journey, I knew that I could not operate in the music industry being 300 plus pounds. It just was not going to work because what I saw for myself was I'm on flights. I'm on stages, I'm on flights, I'm in writing sessions, I'm on TV screens. And it wasn't that being big was unattractive. For me, it was if I got to catch a 5 a.m. flight, I don't want to be running through the airport out of breath, almost dying. I want to actually be able to move comfortably through the airport and not be in pain because I'm so heavy that my knees are carrying all of this weight. I want to have to be comfortable with the fact that I only need one seat on the plane, not two. Like that was a real place at point in time in my life where I had to get two seats on the airplane just to actually fit comfortably. And I'm like, I'm not even that big. So when we think about what May did and it catapulted me into understanding what I possessed and the perseverance that I had within myself, we got to actual North Carolina A&T. That was my first year of college. When we got there, it was a new environment for me. And so what happened was I got caught up on the success of what May did for me, and I lost sight of my purpose and ended up
Okay.
gaining weight. But what I realized was through that process, I'm unhappy when I'm not doing music. I
Mm.
got to do the music, and that's how we got to Fisk. So that first year of college for me it was a little depressing, but it was exciting because when I realized I didn't have music, I said I got to get back to what gives me hope and what gives me purpose. I've got to get back to my passion. So it was we got to get back to Fisk, but I put on all of this weight. I got to Fisk, and everything worked out the way it was supposed to. It was all God, it was all divine, like every process. But we left Fisk on a high, but I still wasn't together with my mind and my body. What I had
Mm.
focused on was with my soul. Music enriched me. It provided me with so much, and I was operating from that place. But I forgot about focusing on my mind and my body. I
Mm.
graduated from Fisk University 432 pounds.
Wow.
How did we get here? How did we get here? What? And it
Mm.
really didn't slap me in the face until I went to the doctor right before I was about to graduate. Just a regular checkup. And the nurse came in the room and she was like, "Do you know how big you are?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "I just think you should go on a few more walks." And I was insulted at first, but then I was like, maybe she's looking out for me. But when I found out my weight, I was like, how did we get here? And I said, but you want to see yourself on stages. You want to see yourself impacting and changing lives. And you can't do it like this, especially if you're teaching purpose, being impactful through influence and change. You've got to get yourself together. God put me in a unique position to where I was getting masters in grad school in Chicago. I had to live on my own. So now the perseverance is all the tools, all the resources, all the principles that I taught you from your MAID experience and your experience in college, you're now living on your own. So now you actually get to really show what work you can really.
Oh, we lost
I
him.
lost 175 pounds. I was able to find out what a regimen looked like. I was able to experience what healthy mind, body, spirit, and soul was like because I began to work on myself and I understood that if I want my passion, if I want my purpose, and I want to be passionate about it, everything needs to be aligning for the best way for me to thrive. That's when I have some of my greatest opportunities and everything. Why? Because everything was working together. And we were saying we got to push through anything bad. I want to remove all things that do not serve me. So we think about perseverance and we think about wanting to give up. I'm always reminded of my purpose in this. Why am I losing weight? There's no reason why I'm putting on all this energy and all this time if I don't understand what the purpose is, because it's not to please anybody else. And it shouldn't technically be to please anybody. What healthy looks like is everyone's own definition, but we have to be honest with ourselves and be accountable to that. And so when we think about wellness and all the things that come into that, you really want to be able to persevere through what comfortable looks like. You want to be able to push through and you want to be able to pace yourself. Breaking old habits and changing habits. You want to be able to pace yourself in the perseverance of what that looks like when you assess, hey, have I learned? Like, how do you really know if you're growing if you're not really losing the weight and also keeping the weight off? If you lose the weight in a year, put the weight back on 2 years from now, and lose the weight again, we have to really look at our process. Are we actually really doing the right things here? The perseverance of that is the maintaining of that. It's that journey process. It's shifting your life. It's pivoting mindsets. It's breaking old strongholds in terms of ways you thought. Because my thing is, you want newness. You want to leave the old behind you. You want to embrace the new. That's really what it's about, in terms of perseverance, because what you'll understand is on the journey through perseverance, you accumulate a lot of things. And so
Mhm.
on that journey, you have to do away with the things that no longer serve you. I don't want to carry around dead weight. And in my journey of perseverance through weight loss and getting to this place and this space, it's been I only want to do things now that serve me. What serves me is making sure that my mind is together. So that's my spiritual practice. That's me sitting down having my time with God. That's me reading my scripture. That's me meditating. That's having affirmations, having mantras, putting things on the wall, reaffirming ourselves, understanding that I am a king, understanding that you are a queen, understanding that we operate in our righteous authority and what that means, not from a place of pride and arrogance, but from a place of boldness and confidence and humbleness
Yes.
still in that. Working on our soul, getting ourselves together, enriching who we are, being able to actually be able to give love with purpose and passion, working on our
Mhm.
spirit, making sure that is right, making sure that anything, being so sensitive enough to know that if a negative energy is around, we can rebuke it and say, I'm good. That doesn't phase me. Being able to cast it out of the room, working on our bodies, making sure that we are physically fit. These are all the things we need in the actual journey of life. All the things you need. And when we think about our journey in life, we want to get better. We want to be
Mhm.
better. You got to pace yourself. You got to persevere accountably. And you got to continuously evolve. Because my thing is, when I get to the end of my journey, I want to say I got to the place of doing everything that served me so that I could serve people the best. Everything that I am accepting into my life, it only serves me so that whatever I give out is my best. Purpose is in that. And that's the perseverance in that. Because you want to give up. It's not easy working through old habits. It's not easy working through strongholds. It's not easy working through dark places. But my thing is freeing yourself of that puts you in the place of, again, operating in your most authentic purpose, being able to really be that light. And so I'm grateful to finally have been in a place where at 33, doors are beginning to open because I persevered. There are so many things that were supposed to happen for me. But from that experience, I learned this is not a moment to give up. This is not a moment to give up. This is a moment to push through because on the other side of that is another experience where it's meant for you. For example, all the things that I thought that I lost out on, me being a feature artist on this project and me doing this, me doing that, God said, I got something better for you. Let me put you in your first major motion picture movie that you didn't even know was coming. Me? Me? How did we get here? But then he says, sit back and take stock in what you've done. You
Yeah.
deserve, son. You deserve. So let me show you what your perseverance, let me show you what not giving up looks like. Let me show you what refining yourself. Let me show you what going through the process, the hard process, because the successes are great, but there's failure. There's pitfalls, there's roadblocks, there's ups, there's downs, there's highs, there's lows, there's all of it. And through all of that, I said, we got here at this point, and then to get through the experience and to see these people are just like me.
Yeah.
They understand the same experience. It's so crazy. So it's
Mhm.
grateful to be able to know that when you persevere and your story and how it aligns with your purpose and matches up, when you get into the circle of other people, they affirm that for you. And so I know my journey's not done. So I was like, oh, this is the start of what else you have for me. I can't wait. So everything that I lost out on, what I thought I lost out on, it was like, oh, but you learned this, you learned that, you learned that, and all the things that I learned through that process of perseverance in this, in my journey on my purpose, I used in that movie, y'all. It's crazy how God was just like, I'm gonna show you everything that you needed right here in this one moment. And so for me, it's like let's take it to the next level. I want new problems now. I want new experiences. I want to shed more of what does not serve me so I can bring on more of what does. That's more of a refining process instead of more of a just giving of ourselves and saying that I believe. So yeah, when I think about perseverance, I think about pace. Just persevering accountably and just continuously evolving. I want to be better. I want to be my best self so I can give my best self to others. And it's not easy. It is not easy. And so when I think about the process of perseverance, it's always for me been attached to my purpose. I know my purpose is to impact, it is to influence, and it's to inspire. It is those three eyes. I know it is those three. I have seen that theme so fluidly through my life that I own that in so many different ways. And so I operate on that because when we do purposeful actions, we have impact. And that's what I'm about, changing lives through influencing, inspiring, and impacting just by my story. So I'm at a place now where I have lost over 200 some odd pounds. I can eat healthy, make conscious decisions. I can be accountable when I'm not right. I have a healthy workout regimen. I worked out today. Today was cardio and leg day. Um, but I'm also honest with myself, in this process of perseverance, we don't want to do it. And we also just need to be honest with ourselves and say, hey, I need a break. But we can never say that break is the stopping point. Just get back to it. Get back to it. Remember your purpose. That's my perspective when we think about perseverance and wellness in my life and my experience. And I know that was a little over here and a little over there,
No,
but I
not at
hope that I
all.
brought it all back together to just realize that perseverance is a mindset. It is a mindset versus a belief because there's no reason why anyone would put all that energy into something and there was no purpose behind it. So it's a mindset of believing that whatever I have to go through is going to be worth it. My process in May, my college experience, going overseas, getting my graduate degree, moving back to Nashville, getting the funny thing. This last thing I gotta say. When I came and did the concert at New Salem, I knew God was shifting things for me because my job situation was extremely rough. And I had been putting out into the atmosphere and praying to God, I want to be in entertainment full time. That was May. July, I lost my job and I was literally catapulted into music full time. And when I tell
Mm-hmm.
you that my only belief has been that He'll be my source, and he has allowed me to persevere, persevere accountably, continuously evolving through this whole process and be affirmed in that all of my experiences in the past are meant for me to be in this place right now. So I'm grateful for the process of perseverance. I'm grateful for never giving up because what you realize is a lot of people, more people are watching you than you're actually giving yourself credit for, and you're probably changing more lives than what you really believe. And I'm grateful for
Mm-hmm.
that process. I'm grateful for being able to understand that and do it from a place humbly, but also do it from a place of accountability. So, yeah.
Nice. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And the end is what the process, that journey of perseverance is just so
Mm-hmm.
important. People think, you get from A to B just overnight, and it's not the case. It's
Right.
really, learning so much during that process. Yeah, this is
It's all about
excellent.
what
We
you
got a lot
acquire
of
in that
questions.
process. True.
Pardon?
I said, no, no, no. It's all about that process of what you acquire. But yes, let's answer these questions. Thanks, guys, for
Okay,
listening.
yeah, we got some questions from the chat. Let's just get started on some of these questions. I have my own questions, but I'll wait till everyone else gets theirs in
I
first.
got you.
So, what would you tell a young person today that is facing what you faced 10, 15 years ago?
Ooh, it's so different now. It is so different now. Ooh, what would I tell them? No, the things that you believe about yourself confidently, that is who you are. Do not be influenced. Do not allow yourself to be easily influenced by what social media and your other peers around you
Mm,
are thinking and doing. concretely have a belief for yourself, concretely discover and explore who you are, and operate from that.
Excellent. How do you maintain your joy?
I'm, I'm a joyous person. Listen, ain't no day that I don't wake up where I'm not happy. Even when I'm in a bad mood, I'm still happy. No, but honestly, how I maintain it's a mindset. I literally wake up and claim the joy of the Lord every morning. Honestly, like I tell somebody, I say I wake up every morning. One of the first things I say is thank you, thank you. Like it just changes things for me. But I maintain my joy
Mhm.
by genuinely just claiming it. It is a mindset. I'm gonna be happy today. And nothing bad is going to change my day. Nothing. And honestly, it's funny. So many things that actually could affect you can make you really go over the edge. If you claim that joy and say what it's going to be and operate from a place of joy, no matter what happens, you could have got a flat tire. But I guess I got to put a spare on it instead of, ah. I mean, it's just a different mindset. It's a different place to operate
Nice,
from. But also, what I
nice.
realized was claiming joy has an effect on a lot of different people.
Mm-hmm.
You may have a bad
Mm-hmm.
mood, but listen, I got joy coming from me. How you doing? It could change your
Thank
entire
you.
day.
Very,
So I
but
take that. So honestly, I wake up with it's a mindset for me. It's literally I'm going to
yeah,
be happy. I'm going to look at the bright side of things, even when it's not easy. It doesn't always work out, but I'll say this: I'm more joyful than I am not.
you seem to have had that mindset even as a teenager.
Well, yes, absolutely. I'll say that for sure. But I
Yeah,
didn't
I.
think I knew what it was. I think I was operating from a place of just pure happiness and just excitement for who I was, like just a free spirit. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of what I am. It's like, and we think about my free spirit, but like when I think about how easy it is to be joyful, it's literally a
Yeah.
thought, and then you act it. And we understand that power sometimes. It could change
Mhm.
so many things. That's what somebody was like. You really don't have to be mad if you don't want to be. You can literally change that thought. And people be like, no, that's not it. Yes, you can. Like,
Yes,
you
you
really
can.
can because
Yeah.
the deeper of that is you can talk about feelings. Oh, we have control of our feelings too. We can change those too. So when we
Mm-hmm.
understand the power that we have and what control over we do and how we move, we also can understand the effect that we can have on people, which is why I said, I know I'm supposed to impact, inspire, and influence people. Ain't no way. So, yeah.
Right. What a huge power. I'm so glad you brought that up. So the next question is, what's your food plan now?
Well, I do intermittent fasting. That is currently what I do. My hour is usually about an 8 hour window. But from primarily, I don't eat a lot of red meat. That is not a thing. If I do eat red meat, it's like lamb and things like that. But I don't eat red meat a lot. I primarily stay with chicken and fish or the seafood. I eat lots of vegetables, fruits. I'm conscious of. I don't do too many sweets. I try to stay away from the sugars. I love, but it's more plant based than anything, if I'm going to be honest. So I definitely like to keep it in that area. But I like, so I'll dibble and dabble with vegetarian. At one point in time, 2 summers ago, I did vegan for 3 months. That was very interesting and that was cool. But in my mind, honestly, where I am right now in my life, because I understand food and understand what its purpose is for me, I'm in a place where I just make healthy, conscious decisions, portion control, but I'm also honest with myself. If I got a sweet tooth, I'm gonna eat something sweet. But I'm not gonna lie to myself and overindulge. But for the most part, right now, I follow a really plant-based diet. But there is chicken incorporated into that with fish. I do eat red meat every now and then. I do love a good steak. I am understanding that for my blood type, it is good to actually have red meat, so I try to incorporate that in what ways that I can. And I drink a gallon of water a day. A gallon of water a day.
Mhm.
Is my staple. Gallon of water, but I usually infuse it with a lot of lemon in mine. But gallon of water a day will bless your life. Keeps your skin looking good. If you are losing weight, it's going to help your skin retain retention, so it'll actually still tighten back up better than it's supposed to being loose. But also a gallon of water a day will keep you full, so you don't have to worry too
Mhm.
much. But I do intermittent fasting, so that's kind of my go-to at this point.
Right. Wow. Yeah, I like the intermittent fasting too, so I'm excited to hear that you do that. And
Yeah, it's
I'm
great.
gonna say it, and I'm gonna say it again to our audience. It always comes back to the green leafy vegetables.
Always, always,
So
always.
important, always.
If you're not eating those, you
Okay,
ain't
and
eating for real.
then here's the last question. How are your knees today with the weight loss?
My knees are amazing. It's like I have straight knees. Honestly, at that point
Really?
in time in my life in high school, yeah, I mean in high school and in college, when I was my heaviest, it was my most painful. My current weight right now, everything is fine. I jog, I run, I jump off buildings, can do cartwheels, all the good things. So it's like I have normal knees. It's just that they're not straight. I know for sure in terms of the doctor, in terms of just health wise, I will have arthritis. That is a thing I'm already understood. I do have the option to get surgery, and surgery now is not as invasive. There are called implants that they can do that they can kind of put into my knee where the bow is taking place. But I haven't decided on that at current. I am in a place where I'm excited with my progress in weight loss and how I actually feel like I'm a normal person. I can wake up and I'm not, sore or anything like that. So I'm enjoying these needs of mine, and also to some degree, I think I like being unique in this way because it's just different. I do get a lot of stares, but I also question what it would look like if I had straight legs, and I don't know anything other than my bow legs. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
but they're fine.
Interesting.
Everything is fine on my legs. No problem.
Yeah, they had to ask. Make
Absolutely,
sure you're
and that's
okay.
perfectly fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely. So, talk a little bit about your passion, about your music career. Uh,
Oh,
while
awesome.
you're, yeah.
Yeah, so in 2016, I released my first acoustic project, Acoustic Expressions. Since then, I've been working on music. I have a lot of music that I just have not released yet. It's just timing and making sense of that. But uh, my current passion right now, honestly, is educating young independent artists on the tools and resources needed to be successful in the industry. I have the
Mhm.
option, I have the beautiful pleasure of working with a nonprofit here in Nashville, Tennessee called Creative Stay. I'm the director of creative development. And so I manage the residency programs. And one of our tickets or our hot items in our organization is our residency program for independent artists. And so I manage that 4-1 process and what that looks like in terms of the education that they need, in terms of artist etiquette, artistic performance, and how to develop that. So it's really a artist development type of situation. But I'm passionate about my music in terms of soulful ways. So the music that I have been working on is very soulful. We're trying to incorporate different styles. I will have you know that before Corona hit, or before we had the pandemic, I was going to be releasing 2 double projects, but we have since put that on pause. We are working on some other things instead. But yeah, music is always there. I do a lot of session work here in Nashville, so I mean that's cool. But music is all that I really wanted. Music and entertainment and the arts is really what I want to do. But right now, my main focus has been educating and giving back to artists, young artists, independent artists, and just developing them and shaping them and molding them because I don't want them to run through the same pitfalls that I ran through, but I also want them to be more
Mhm.
successful. But at the same time, being passionate about my music, I'm working to give them more writing and creative space. So things are coming. We just don't know when.
Wonderful, wonderful. I tell my children as well as any up and coming young person that you can always monetize your passion. If you can identify what that is and really, push and persevere, you can monetize it and it becomes your life. And I love that's what I see with you is that, your life is your passion and as you said, your purpose.
when I uh, when I had the belief that when I was in music, because I didn't know how it was gonna work, doing music full time. I was like, how is this gonna work? Like, Lord, no full time. What you need? And I'm like, what we doing? Because I was used to so much in my life having a job where it was, paycheck every 2 weeks, and so and living a full time artistry life, like it's not necessarily that way. And when I say full time artistry, I don't mean like, I'm trying to still work a side job and then trying to make this work. It was like we catapulted, like just thrown into there. And I'm not saying I didn't pursue other opportunities or other options. It just did not work out that way. And what I realized was I have to trust this process. I have to trust that my gifts will make room for me. I have to trust that if I believe that he's my source, he's not going to leave me and have me without. And little did I know, every bill was paid. There was also more than what I
Yes,
needed. Where did this come from and how? It was me paying
yeah.
attention to the signs. It was me pushing through. So definitely, it's necessary and needed right now. Just those things like it. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, you can definitely
Another
make money
question.
off of your passion. It's crazy. You can do that.
Yes,
Sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
absolutely. So another question from the chat was your workout regimen. Do you work out, and if so, how often? And what do you do?
When I'm in it heavy and when I'm on it, it's working out 6 days a week. We work out Monday through
Okay.
Saturday. Monday is upper body chest. So we usually do
Mhm.
Monday upper body chest and biceps. If not chest and biceps, we do chest and back, or chest and triceps. When Tuesday is primarily leg day. That is all leg day. It depends on how I want to focus on. If I want to do front, if I want to do back, if I want to do a mix, but it's all leg day on that day. Wednesday is a cardio day. Nothing but cardio for at least an hour. So that's always fun. Thursday is upper body back, so I'll either do back subs, triceps, or I'll mix it up and I'll do biceps and triceps and back, shoulders. It just depends. Friday is full body, and if I want to focus or if I want to hit on specific body area, body sections like my legs or upper body, I'll incorporate that into the workout. But Friday is pretty much a full body workout day, and then Saturday is cardio again. We do cardio for at least an hour. No games on that. And every day, Monday through Saturday, is abs. Abs, abs, abs. We do abs every day. I do 8-minute abs. There are two well-known popular videos on YouTube. I do 8-minute abs from both of those. It gets you right together. I definitely been able to tell the difference. But since pandemic and things like that, to maintain, I went online and did a just deep dive search into YouTube and found a few particular people that I like in their workout regimens and just what worked for me. And have just been switching it up. But the biggest thing for me is to maintain cardio. So I make sure that most of these workouts are at least 30 minutes in terms of the categories that I spoke about, but I also add to that at least 30 to 40 minutes of cardio. So working out for at least a full hour, hour and 20, every day if we can get it right when I'm on it. When I'm not traveling and crazy things like that, when I'm hitting it Monday through Saturday, it's good. And results definitely show. But for the most part, that's my workout regimen.
Wow. So it feels good. Do you have a trainer that you work with, or a combination of ha ha ha?
They would not be happy if I didn't say absolutely. I have trainers. Joe Johnson and Harold Lurchis.
All
Those
right.
two are probably by far. Those two are probably by far the best trainers that I've ever had. In my experience, they're amazing. Marathon Fitness and Lurchis Fitness. They are phenomenal. They have been a part of this process. Joe Johnson was a part of the process when I was on Made. He was my Made coach. He has supported me this entire journey. He has always motivated me and always encouraged me to just continue to push on because he was able to see what I had and what I possessed. He just told me it was about me. It's about cooking in my head, me getting it. He said, I can't do the work for you. So I'm here. I'll give you whatever you need, but you have to actually do the work. And so
Right.
it was funny. He actually wished me happy birthday. He told me he was proud of me and that I looked great and just to keep it up. And those things mean a lot, especially coming from someone who came into my life, and provided me with a fatherly role model and figure that I didn't have at that time, but also some mentorship that was life changing for me in ways to think about things and look at life differently. I cannot count to the times we had so many conversations after a workout at 5 a.m. in the morning, just about life, and perspective and just different things. So Joe Johnson's been amazing. Alertious Fitness. Harold, he is the homie. He gets it done. He's results. Easy is not an option. Is his motto. And it's always been that. It's never been easy with him, and he's always pushed me. He pushes me all the time. So I'm grateful for their tutelage and their leadership over this weight loss journey process. Everything that I did now is kind of done by myself. I check in with them when I need to. But
Sure.
if I need to pop up at their gym, I can. If I want to join a boot camp, I can. They're phenomenal. They're phenomenal.
Mhm. Wonderful. Yeah, I like to hear the idea that, the relationships that you've built over the years have helped you. A lot of times we think you can do it alone, but you need people in your life that are also on your team.
You definitely need people that are in your life who are on your team who are actually going to be accountable. It's funny. I told my friends when I was in college, when I was about to graduation weekend, I found out how much I weighed. Um, we were sitting down talking. I said, why didn't anybody tell me that I was this big and looked like this? Like y'all are not my real friends. And but the funny thing about it was that was a hard conversation. But the truthful part of that conversation was, hey Jordan, we didn't know how to address it, but you also look so comfortable, so
Mm,
fine. Like we didn't think it was an issue or that it was that important, you know. And so breaking that down for me was like, well, they do care, but at the same time, how am I showing up for myself really? Like, if I actually wanted to know from them, I never told them, you know. So how could they ever actually come forward and say, hey, you're getting too big, you know? So moving forward, I set that standard with my friends. Hey,
Mm.
my health is important to me. If you see me slipping, come for me. Tell me, like, hey, you putting on weight, bro. That you ain't supposed to be eating that. Like, you let me know, because my thing is, I don't want you to care more than me, but I want you to care about me. I want you to show that you care. So my friends have been phenomenal in stepping up to the plate of that, but also they jumped on board in their own ways, and they
Okay.
changed their lives in their own ways to make themselves healthier and live better. So it's beautiful, you know, to see the transformation of my circle of friends and how they've
Mhm.
taken the role of getting health together, getting wellness together. Like, it's a beautiful thing, you know, and to be able to have conversation with them and discuss and be
Mhm.
like, this is what we doing. So it's a good thing. It's a good
Nice, nice. Yeah, those relationships are so important. I'm checking here to see if we have any other questions from the chat.
thing.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. So, let's see. Not right now. So I'll just ask my own questions.
Okay.
So, how's intermittent fasting working for you? It sounds like
I've been,
it does work for you, but was it difficult
I have
getting
been doing
started?
intermittent. I've been doing intermittent fasting for at least 2 3 years now. But it
Okay.
was during that process, right when I did the vegan, when I tried being
Mhm.
vegan for 3 months.
Mhm.
My trainer did not recommend it. He actually hated it. He actually hated the whole entire time that I was vegan. He was like, "Why would you do that?" But because there was a body, it messed with the regulations of my body in terms of like muscle mass, things like that, in a way that he was just like, "You doing all this work and you gonna do it away in 3 months?" Like, it was crazy. So I said, no vegan for me, you know, but more vegetarian and plant based. But what was the question?
Oh, I was asking you, was it difficult getting started as far as intermittent
Yes,
fasting?
intermittent fasting now. When I started the process around that time, uh, I knew the benefits of it, but I also wanted to experience what it would be like to lose that type of weight, because I found myself in a position to where I was plateauing more than I would have liked, and I was like, I'm doing all this work, I'm changing up my workouts, but I'm still not dropping the weight that I want to drop. Like, what is that? You know? And so I came across intermittent fasting, and I tried it. It was fine for me because at that time I would work out, have my little protein shake. I would work out and I would start the process and I would be good because in my mind I'm like, I'm drinking all this water, like it's no problem.
Mhm.
So I would say the first week for me was okay. I can definitely tell that I'm hungry. This is not a fun experience, but over time, I would say by the end of the month, or not even that for me, it was maybe like another week into it, week and a half, and like I stopped thinking about it. My mind was so focused on so many other things. I just needed to remind myself to eat. I'm at the point now where I need to remind myself to eat
Wow.
I'm genuinely not hungry. Like, I wake up in
Mhm.
the morning and I drink at least a quarter of a gallon of water. That's like one of the first things I try to get into my body, get into my system. And then when I
Mhm.
work out, I'm drinking at least another quarter. So that's by now I'm at a half a gallon by now already. So I'm at a half a gallon
Sure.
by at least, noon. So the rest of the day it's just drinking water. But for the most part, if I'm hungry, I'm going to get the water before I get the food. So I put the water in my body. So when it's time for me to actually get to my, window, I'm not really hungry. I got water in my stomach and I'm not really, and I'm doing my vitamins and things like that. So when I finally do
Sure.
eat, it's a little bit. So yeah, the process was not hard for me getting started. I think for me, because I wanted to see results and I was seeing the results, I stuck with it. And so now it's become just a thing for me. Like, my friends will be like, "You're not hungry?" I'm not. They're like, "But you need to eat." I haven't seen you eat all day. I'm like, "I'll eat." Okay, I'll eat. So yeah, it wasn't a difficult process for me. But the benefits have been great. They have been wonderful, especially when I'm on it and doing what I'm supposed to consistently. It's really, really good. But I say just make sure you're drinking your water. You really probably won't think about being hungry. But what also happens is there's so many different shifts happening when you're doing that fast. Like, it's breaking down your addiction, your craving of sugar and things like that, and your body and how it
Mhm.
is molecularizing and like eating itself, metabolizing and eating it. Like, all those different things are happening in that process. And I feel like the benefit is so much greater if we don't focus on what's happening in our body, but what we doing here in the real world. So no food, don't matter. It's like, you be fine.
So it's not that difficult, you're saying. Yeah.
It can be difficult if you let it. That's all I'll say.
Hmm. Hmm.
We some people. I mean, the honesty of the truth is everyone's going to do it for their own reason. Everyone has
Hmm.
their own association, own relationship with food. So
Sure.
for me, I could definitely say it's completely easy. I'm perfectly fine with eating. For someone else who is used to eating on a consistent basis, they actually may have stronger hunger pains. They actually may go through a more difficult process because their mind is so used to eating, which means with the endorphins are being released, you begin to get hungry, you begin to crave those things. So like that's a whole shift in the mindset as well. So I can't say it's going to be easy for everyone. My process was
Mm.
not that difficult because I was open to that and I wanted
Sure.
that. And having gone through so many different drastic changes in how I ate over the last 10 years, it wasn't a
Mm.
problem for me to fast at this point. I'm like, I done went down to 1,500 calories a day. Like that's barely eating any food for real. Like so, like I can withstand not eating. So I think it's different for everyone. I definitely say do your research. But it has wonderful advantages if you actually let it, if you do. But it's up to everyone and what works for you and your health. So yeah, there will be some challenges to navigate. I will say that, but
Yeah.
it's not that bad after all.
Hmm. Yeah, I was just curious, especially 10, 15 years ago when you were just really starting to look at and, your weight loss journey. Did you try a lot of different diets and things of that nature? I mean, did you
So no,
find that
it
those just
wasn't.
worked for
No, so it was not diet. I'll say when I did made, there was a specific meal plan that was given to me by my trainer at the time, Jim Johnson. I
you?
used that
Okay.
meal plan from 18 until 26, 27,
Wow.
almost 10 years. So like,
Hmm.
and I got another one from Harold Lurchis, which was very similar. And
Hmm.
so I use that kind of as the mode and the template. Like my friends will tell you, Jordan is perfectly fine eating the same thing all the time. I'm used to that. It was just like you could only eat these specific things in this regimen and you're
Hmm.
good. Now some my friends were like, that ain't living, that's not life. Like you can eat healthy and eat other things. Like that wasn't my mindset at the time. For me it was the discipline of learning and understanding these are healthy choices. We need to be
Yeah.
making these in spite of wanting something else. And so I stayed with it
Hmm.
that long because it was also easy. I can dock
Hmm.
this up however. I can cook my chicken and season it however I want to. I can use rice, brown rice. I can use quinoa. Like I can switch it up here and there. So I use that same meal plan for about almost 8, 9 years, and then I started educating myself on how to eat better. Started talking to my trainers, and they were just like, "Hey, you can eat this way, eat this way. Just be conscious. Be conscious. Make conscious, healthy decisions. Everything requires balance."
Hmm. And I think
So I
that's
answered
the
your question.
key. People don't really see that those eating habits have to be a part of your lifestyle. I mean,
Yeah,
if they're not really a part of your daily lifestyle and you're just doing it temporarily, you tend to just go back to your old habits.
I promise. If you spent 2 weeks drinking a gallon of water a day and eating, making healthy, conscious decisions, promise you would lose between 5 and 10 pounds. And then if you add into that a little bit of physical activity, you can lose more. Mm.
Yeah.
So, well,
Hmm.
we won't say 5 to 10. We'll say 3 to 7. That range. But
Okay.
what I'll say is, eating is genuinely the most important. What you eat and what you put in your body is the fuel that you actually need. So, like, if you're not putting good things in your body, don't think that your body's going to perform. So, yeah, you have to eat. You got to eat healthy. You got to be accountable to that. Breaking habits. Sugar addiction is real. Caffeine addiction is real. Coffee addiction is real. Those things are real. I don't drink coffee. I don't. I mean, I like sweets, but like I don't crave sweets. Like I find that's nah. I'll be fine with just water. Just give me water. I'm good. People like really? Yes. I don't need soda. I don't need juice. I don't need all the extra sugar. None of those things. Because yeah, for what? But it's getting to that place because at one point in time I wasn't that way. So it's realizing what you need, what serves you, and what doesn't, and also being accountable to that and being able to say, hey, in this moment, even though this doesn't serve me, this is what I want, and I can have this, and be okay with that. Overindulging
Yeah.
is a thing. We have to be accountable to those things because there is a consequence that comes with that. So yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
I'll say this: it is a process. I don't always get it right. Some days I honestly do like I don't care. and it's a real place. But the further of that is, I'm going to get back on track. I've got to get back on track. Nothing is going to stop me from getting back on track. So you know what? If I have a bad day, you know what? The whole day is going to be bad. I'll just eat whatever I want to. But guess what? I get to go to sleep and wake up the next day and make a decision
Start all over. That's right.
and start all over. So if I make the
That's
same bad decision yesterday, that was my choice. Or I could say, you know what? I'm gonna wake up and we're gonna eat the fruit in the refrigerator this morning. I'm gonna eat that lean cuisine over there for lunch. Like, these are choices, and I don't think that we realize sometimes how much power we have in the choices we make for ourselves. The choices we make for ourselves first. Like, we have to serve ourselves first. That's why I said I wake up every morning and I choose joy. I could have had a bad dream. I'm gonna still wake up and choose joy. At the end of the
that's
day, things change differently when you just have a different mindset. And I think if we understand the power of our mind, it it's crazy. It's crazy. Sometimes the thought process we say to ourselves, and we're like, what? So it's crazy when you can't be happy. You can be mad one moment, you can actually be happy the next. People are like, that's not possible. It is. You have power over your mind and your feelings. And if you really don't, ask God. He'll show you. Like, it's just funny to me. So at the end of the day, I think when we realize our power in the decisions that we make for ourselves, that's when it really can be life changing and transforming. Because of the deeper of that is it's discipline. Discipline is not fun. Like, it's
it's not.
never something that we enjoy, but it's the reward of that. You know, it's the reward of that that really matters. And I think people sometimes are afraid to be honest with themselves and say, I don't have the discipline that I think I have. But the beauty about that is you can make a decision and say, but I'm going to get the decision, the self discipline that I want to have. It's just going to require me to work. So
Right.
yeah, we have to break old, like, people pastor later in life. Yo, you can continue to learn things. You can continue to let go of old things and learn new things. You know, it doesn't just have to be this way. Like, be informed, learn. You know, these are all decisions. Perseverance is a decision. I could wake up tomorrow and say, I don't care. I don't want to work out. I don't want to push through anymore. I want to put all the way back on. I could. That's a choice. But I wake up every day and say, I'm gonna persevere in my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when it's ugly, it's still beautiful.
Right.
That's the grace and that's the glory of your righteousness.
Yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
what really, like, even in your purpose in the process, it's not supposed to be pretty. Because the funny thing about it is, what you think is absolutely hideous and ugly, we see as miraculous, beautiful, glorious. Like, wow, that's the righteousness and the glory that you got all on you. That's what we're supposed to
Yep.
be seeing. It's not supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
pretty for you. The outward appearances, when we get the experience, is so different. Like, I can't count you. People be like, Jordan, I don't know how you do it, man. You make it look effortless. In my mind, I'm like, I'm going insane. I
Oh,
think I look a mess. You know? So people be like, no, bro, you look good. Really? But you'll be surprised at how, like, what you think through your process is something crazy and bad.
mm-hmm.
People look at that and are inspired. So
Yeah.
it's about the choices and decisions that we make. All that's what life is about: choices and decisions. And we
Exactly.
really
Choices.
understand the power of choices and decisions and owning
Mm-hmm.
who we are, because everyone's different. Everyone's experience is different. There are billions of people on this earth. There are no two people who will have the same experience. Everyone's makeup is different. Let's be clear. We talk about a God. We're not going to limit God. We are not going. So every billionth person on this planet has a different makeup in mind. Can you wrap your
Amen.
head around it? I can't, but I have to believe it because we serve a God has no limits. All the things that were created, we can't say God didn't create them if He God and He's the creator, right? We're putting limits on Him. So we have to understand that our makeup, everybody is individual, makeup is different. There's purpose in all of that. Own who you are. Because once you own that, you have more power in that. You have more intention and focus in how you move. You know, the process will not be pretty. Nobody's process is. It's never supposed to be pretty. But own
Yeah.
your process. That's the light that's what we want to see shine. Even in my darkest days, I still own my process. And I was still surprised that still the light that was shining on me. So, hey, get to it. Let's be hard on ourselves, and not hard in the way that we're breaking ourselves down, but hard in the way to say, hey, I want
Mm-hmm.
everything that serves me. And I don't want nothing else that doesn't. So I'm gonna make the choice to do the right things, the hard things. That's self-discipline. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, wonderful. This has been so inspirational. I was just going to say, hey, Jordan, do you want to give us some final thoughts?
Absolutely, I would be. It would be no
Oh,
problem. I mean, yeah. No, honestly, this has been a great space to just come and talk. I wrote all these notes down, but the thing I led with was allow me, Lord, just to say the things that are probably supposed to be said. And so I'm praying that whoever tuned in, I mean, whoever has listened and watched, you were able to get a nugget of something that may have inspired, impacted, or influenced you in some way for your decisions moving forward. I really believe with perseverance, the perspective to keep is pace, persevering accountably, continuously evolving. I think we should think of ourselves in the end goal is being
mm,
our best self. You know,
mm,
it's purging, it's removing the things that are bad for us. It's being self aware, it's being accountable to those things and saying, hey, the flip side of this is better. It can't be worse. So it's doing that work, and that is intentional work, that is focused work, that is work that is hard, but it's work that is so rewarding. Count every success, acknowledge every failure, celebrate every high, understand every low, and don't want to get too deep, but we'll keep it there. But yeah, just keeping the perspective, push through, um, push yourself even when you think you don't have it. I tell myself all the time, I have it even when I don't have it because I got it.
mhm,
Think about
mhm.
that. I
Yes.
have it even when I don't have it. I got it. Because the thing about that part is I got it. It's not me. Because I've already said I have it even when I don't have it. And so in this moment, I'm acknowledging I ain't got it, but I have it. Who has that last part? It ain't me. It's
It's
who
him.
gonna do
That's
what?
right.
Because he'll never
Yes.
put more on you than you can bear. So my
Mhm.
mindset is I got it when I ain't got it because I got it. I'm
Amen.
never gonna be without. I'm gonna have all the things that I need. So wake up every morning with the choice to do things that serve you. Wake up every morning choosing to do things that make you better. It is
Mhm.
hard to be that self aware, but I promise you, young to old, life will change. People will notice. Your life will be better. So persevere through it even when you want to give up. Keep your pace. Know your purpose. Discover that. Find that. Lean into that. That is what we need. You operate in your most authentic purpose so you can shine righteously. That's what we really want at the end of the day. And God wants your process to be your process. He wants you to own that. He wants you to be vulnerable with that because that is what changes and transforms lives. So thank you for
Mhm.
providing me with this space to speak. I'm going to continue on my journey for weight loss and wellness. It does not stop here. I have goals still. I am still ever evolving and changing my goals in this process. I got a body that I
Mhm.
want to look a certain way by 35, so we get into it. But
All right.
oh,
All
that's the last thing I
right.
want to say. Goals, guys. Perseverance. Perseverance is kept well with the pace when you have goals. Have goals,
Mhm.
and all those things need to align with your purpose. Purpose.
Mhm.
All these things change with purpose. My purpose is music. I'm grateful to God for Him providing these spaces and opportunities to authentically operate. But at the end of the day, know your purpose, you all. That's where lives really change. And persevere
Do
because
you
your
write
purpose
down
will
your
evolve.
goals? Do you write
Yes,
down your
I write down
goals?
my goals. Mhm. I write down
Mhm.
my goals. We work through our goals. We assess our goals.
Nice.
You have to be accountable to that. Writing down your goals makes it real. Write the vision, make
Yeah.
it plain. Because how else can you really be accountable than to the thoughts in your head? I said April the 3rd. No, I didn't. I think I said April the 7th. I think I said, no, I think I changed it again to April. Like, write it down because that's when you make it. There's a threefold thing happening. You're writing it, you're reading it, and like you're saying it in your head. Like, that's so powerful. So write it down so you can be accountable to yourself. But also, you can actually see your goal and you can really assess if it makes sense, if it should be the goal. You can put everything in line. So, yes, I like to write my things down. I think it's helpful. I think writing is important, period. I think journaling is a part of the practice of perseverance as well, because as
Mhm.
much as we go through this experience, we need to therapeutically release. And I think that
Yeah.
for me, journaling and just writing those things out and writing about my process has been very helpful. So I encourage a
Mhm.
lot of people to just write, 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 write. Spend 20 minutes just writing everything that comes to your mind. I bet you after the first 15, the last five, you're gonna be like, this is what's really in my head. You'll be mind blown. You'll be mind blown. So I just encourage everyone to, in the process of perseverance in your life, because that's what this is. It's a race not given to the swift. It is about perseverance. Latch onto your purpose and just lean in. That's it, y'all. And make choices that serve your purpose and you, because you want to be great. That's all.
Nice. Thank you so much, Jordan. This was
Thank
really
you.
inspirational, and thank you for just
Yay.
sharing your journey.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's all about the journey, and these are things that we just need to hear. And I love the idea of writing it down. You got to see it yourself. You really do. So, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to have you back sometime. We really enjoyed this
Please have
conversation.
me back. I would love to be back. This was
Yeah.
amazing. Like this was amazing. So thankful for the conversation. Thankful for the questions. Like and just allowing me a space to share my thoughts, my perspective on my process in my life, and just to hear and just to be affirmed that it has been inspiring and influential is amazing. So please have me back. I would love to be a guest. This has been awesome.
Awesome. Awesome. And congratulations on your career and best wishes to
Thank you.
you as well. So thank you
Thank you so
everyone for
much.
joining us tonight. Thank you again, Jordan, for being here with us. And
Yes.
thank you all. You can always see it again on YouTube, but we appreciate you joining us. And again, stay healthy and stay safe. Have a good night.